Men, if you're suffering from ED or PE, Priority Men's Medical Center will get your love life back in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough medical treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments will restore your love life regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. Plus, you'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients will have their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To regain your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
It's no surprise that Ragsdale Heating, Air, Plumbing, and Electric continues to grow, and they're looking for good, caring people to join them. If you've got experience as a plumber, electrician, or are an HVAC tech, give them a call and be part of a great team. Be proud to bring your expertise, knowledge, and patience to homes all across Atlanta, like mine. Ragsdale's experts have been taking care of my home for years. Employees stay with Ragsdale 10, 20, even 30 years. Go to ragsdaleair.com/careers and apply today.
It is 2:06 and time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather in the 24-hour traffic center. It's Alex Williams.
Good afternoon, Bill. Watching this crash, still working up between Kennesaw and Ackworth. It's on 75 and northbound before Highway 92, exit 277. They're working to get either a car or a truck that ran off the roadway out of the ditch there, so they are holding two right lanes. Another area we've been watching all morning right now looks okay, but those high ramps in Spaghetti Junction that take you 85 north and south to 285 either east or west, they are moving, but right now I see the tractor trailers taking those slowly, so be mindful of that. Most of the crashes I've been seeing are cars that have run off the roadway or are in the left lane. Looks like that seems to be the untreated lane, is the far left lane, so stay in the center or right lanes if you can. And we've also had an icy patch in the northeast Atlanta area. Armour Drive has been shut down, says the DOT, right under I-85. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
And I'm 95.5 WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. The freezing rain has now moved into Carrollton. It's moving into Dallas, and there are portions of freezing rain now occurring all throughout Flowery Branch, Gainesville, and extending up into Cumming. Be aware that freezing rain is rain that freezes on contact with the surface, whether it be the trees, your car, or the road. I do anticipate as much as half an inch of ice accumulation now for the 316, I-85, and 985 corridor through tonight. Precipitation comes to an end around midnight. Low tonight will be 32. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a high of 36. Very cold on Sunday morning, low 20. Then sunshine for Sunday afternoon, highs in the upper 30s to low 40s. Live in the Storm Center, meteorologist Christina Upwards.
Right now, 33 in Smyrna, 31 in Tucker, 32 in Douglasville. Our continuing in-depth team coverage of Metro Atlanta's winter storm continues now on 95.5 WSB.
Hey, friends, it's the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. The 2 p.m. keyword is fun. F-U-N. Enter the keyword fun in the WSB Radio app or online at WSBradio.com/cash. You have until 2:30 p.m. to enter the keyword. Win $1,000. The keyword is fun. F-U-N. Don't forget, if you get a phone call after 2:30 from a number you don't recognize, answer it. Could be us telling you you won $1,000. Good luck.
Winter Weather 2025 on 95.5 WSB.
Good luck winning $1,000. Welcome back. Mark Aram with you till 3 p.m. as we continue our coverage of the breaking winter weather. I am joined now. He just jumped off his nationally syndicated award-winning program, Eric Erickson. Eric, good afternoon, buddy. How are you?
I'm excellent. How about yourself?
I enjoyed the beautiful snow early this morning at WSB
it sucked
Radio.
Down here. I woke up, the ground was still dry. Only when I decided to go to work did it start freezing rain, and that didn't last long at all. I mean, absolute garbage. I told my wife they should have gone up to Carrollton because they got snow up there. She's like, no, it's going to be ice. Oh, it snowed because they didn't go.
So
hey,
no,
I want everybody in North Georgia to understand that it is actually my family's fault you're under this mess, because had they gone to Carrollton, none of you would have gotten snow.
Oh my goodness! So you're not even a single flake in Macon, just
Not a single flake. I mean, there is snow down here, but it's the kind that goes up your nose,
Oh.
not the kind that goes on the ground.
What's the going rate? No, never mind.
I don't know.
Eric's going to ride this out with me till 3 p.m., and Eric's going to take over the coverage. I've been saying 3 till whenever. Have the bosses told you when you're going to wrap things up today?
At least 7 o'clock.
Okay, at least 7 o'clock. And by the way, I don't know if you heard before, you were still on your national show. The fact that you don't even blink an eye when the boss is like, you're going to finish your regular show, and then I need 5 extra hours from you.
Dude, okay, you're one to talk. I mean, you would do 24 hours if they asked you to do it. I mean, you're here basically, so the audience understands, Mark is actually here to hold my hand to give me a feel for what we're doing, because otherwise I would jump in and screw it up.
All they have to do is feed me, and they've been doing that well. So Eric's with me till 3, then he's going to take over till at least 7. I wanted to bring in WSB radio meteorologist Christina Edwards there, because she's been here since before 5 a.m., warning us for days about what's coming. It was gorgeous this morning, Christina. Then the snow stopped, and we started to get the sleet, the freezing rain. What do you see going forward, and when do you think any window of opportunity to travel might begin or end?
I think our window of travel is starting to end for those of us who are in Midtown trying to figure out if we're going to go home. But because the precipitation shield has moved back in, now that means all of the stuff that is falling. At this point, it's a mixture of rain and freezing rain. Carrollton has reported freezing rain, and it looks like, based off of the radar trends, that Flowery Branch, Gainesville, Coal Mountain, and even getting into Lawrenceville, Winder, and Commerce, that's where the freezing rain is starting to happen. Here in the Midtown and inside the perimeter area, it looks like it's a mixture of liquid rain as well as freezing rain. So I would say if you really need to go, try and go before sunset, which is around 5:45.
There's a hotel room waiting for me.
Right.
But I really want to get home to my wife and dogs.
I understand.
So I'm thinking I'm going to at least try it out when I get off the air at 3.
Check with Alex Williams before you go.
I will check with Alex Williams, absolutely. But we have to, Eric, we need to watch the thermometer, because once the sun goes down, you said 5:45, Christina?
That's correct.
That's when we might start seeing serious icing concerns, Eric, not just on the roads, but on the trees and the power lines. That's a big focus right now.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I've been a little bit worried about that with my wife and kids getting on the road. I'll be fine down where I am, because I don't think we're supposed to go below freezing down here. But I mean, it was wild. It was like 15 miles north of us, they started getting snow, and we're not that far from the Atlanta Motor Speedway where they got a ton of snow. It's just so random where it fell. Hey, is Christina still around? I got a question.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Christina, I was wondering if you can explain, and forgive me if you've already answered this, but
Sure.
So I keep my radar up, and I've got the precipitation mode on,
Mhm.
and it's always been fascinating to me as to the radars are so good, but it seems like in the last 24 hours they have really, really struggled with the storm to figure out if it was rain, freezing rain, or snow, and I can't recall the last time I saw a storm come down here where there was a lot of, even with my local meteorologist on TV last night, he's like, we have no idea. The radar can't figure out what's what.
So the radar went down. KFFC, which is in Peachtree City, went down about 7:50 last night, and Warner Robins was still operational. So this morning, when I was live on Atlanta's Morning News. When I was live on Atlanta's Morning News, I was actually using the Warner Robins and the Birmingham radar sites. The problem is that, remember that a radar is it's a signal, but it's sending out a beam, and as it travels away from the radar site, that beam gets wider and wider and wider the further out that it goes. So if I'm using the Warner Robins or the Birmingham radar, I really want to know if it's snowing, but snowing is at the lower end of that beam. But once that beam gets a little bit too high in the atmosphere, it's only showing me the top of the cloud. It's not showing me the bottom of the cloud or what kind of actual precip is falling. So it was tricky this morning until KFFC came back online. So that's why you may have heard that this morning. It went down at 7:50 p.m. last night and came back up right about 7 o'clock this morning.
Heck of a time to go down. I actually just pulled up the Warner Robins radar, and yeah, I can tell that everything in my area now is freezing rain, not even rain. Actually, south of me, it's actually heavier, thicker stuff, and then up to you guys, I can now see it coming in. Just what a wild storm this one is.
This has been, can I be completely transparent and honest?
Oh, yeah.
ever since Monday, I was like, this is going to be one of those storms where it's going to give me a headache, a cluster headache, because it's going to bring everything. It'll bring snow, it'll bring sleet, and it'll bring freezing rain. It's going to start off as snow in the morning and then transition over in the afternoon. That's the opposite of what these winter storms normally do. And it's going to be a Gulf low where the actual low pressure center stays hugging the Gulf Coast, which means that it brought in just a little too much warm air along with the moisture that we needed in order to have wintry precipitation. Instead, if it had tracked, say, over towards Montgomery, Albany, Georgia, if it was just a little bit further north, it would be a little less warm air coming through. So we're talking about a difference of only about 10 to 50 miles. And I was like, 10 to 50 miles will make or break this.
Yeah.
1 degree will make or break this. And yet Metro Atlanta from end to end is about 100 miles.
Can I just get some clarification for listeners? You didn't just declare that the KFC in Peachtree City went down.
No,
right?
not the Kentucky Fried Chicken.
That's still open.
That's
as
still,
far as we know.
We think. Yeah, we'll need to call in and double check.
Okay.
But yes, KFFC is the radar site for Peachtree City.
That's unbelievable, Eric, that you asked that question, and Christina was like, oh, yeah, Eric, it's the KFFC radar.
Yes.
That you had it. That was the biggest meeting of the nerds I've ever seen or heard on WSB Radio.
Look, I got my one day when we're off air, I'm going to tell Christina that the reason I have this fancy radar package, it's not appropriate for our radio program.
Eric, by the way, I know you've got that special gate now down at Hartsfield-Jackson for celebrities, but did you see the airport incident this morning?
Okay, not only did I see that incident, but a buddy of mine, they were trying to get out before the storm and was stopped and literally is like filming the doors of that Delta jet opening and the people coming down the slides. His plane was right there. Yeah.
Yeah, that was remarkable. I mean, Deborah said it looked like fun jumping off the slide.
I've done it.
Yeah, have you really?
Yeah, I was in a plane crash when I was a kid.
Oh,
and had to go down the slide.
All right, we're going to get back to severe weather coverage in a second. Tell us about this childhood Eric Erickson plane crash.
So, all right, this sounds like child abuse. I realize my wife is horrified by the story. When I was 11, growing up overseas, it was the very first time my parents said I could fly home by myself. And so I flew home. It was a KLM flight from Dubai to Amsterdam, another one Amsterdam to Atlanta, and then Atlanta to Baton Rouge on Delta. And as we got over the Black Sea, the plane caught on fire, had hydraulic problems, and we had to land ditch in Innsbruck, Austria, no flaps, no wheels, foam runway, slid down, and had to open the doors and jump down the slides.
How old were you?
I was 11. I was the only person on the plane that I knew was me and my French teacher.
Gosh.
But I made it. I was fine. I got to Amsterdam, missed my flight to Atlanta, and got put up in the red light district by KLM.
So you
True
enjoyed
story.
You enjoyed the layover.
Absolutely.
Then.
I had no idea what the red light district
now
was.
Now at 11, are you not yet aware enough of the world to the severity of that, or did you know, like, oh, this?
No, I really had no idea. Like, I couldn't appreciate it. I was telling a buddy of mine this morning that no, and like the thing that people don't understand is what they try to get you to do if you're young enough is kind of you jump out you've got your arms crossed over you lunge out the door and you fall straight down and hit the slide and slide. You can sit down if you need to, but they're trying to get people out fast on these planes. And our stuff, you had to leave all your stuff behind. Thankfully, the plane was fine, and we were able to get our stuff and make it to Amsterdam after they cleaned up the runway and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it was an adventure for me as a kid. I look back on it and I'm like, oh, I should have been totally freaked out, but I wasn't at the time.
That'll be chapter 3 of the Eric Erickson autobiography, My Night as an 11-year-old in the Red Light District in Amsterdam. Eric's with me till 3. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards has been here since before the snow even started. She'll be here till we're all clear. Before you go refresh and you check the KFC in Peachtree City, words of wisdom and what we might expect going through the rest of the afternoon into the evening.
As somebody who grew up during the blizzard of 93, as somebody who is a professional meteorologist during January 2011 when we had Snowstorm 1, and then the Snowmageddon of January 2014, just stay home. Enjoy. If you have snow, just stay home and enjoy it. If you don't have to go out, please do not go out. That is why we had the snow jam in 2014, was because people rushed out on the road unnecessarily. If you have to be on the road, totally understand. For emergency personnel or even for those of us in the communications industry, eventually we need to go somewhere somewhere at the end of our shift. If you have to be on the road, please slow down, dial down the speed, and be very, very careful, especially on the surface streets. The subdivisions, those are the areas that do not get treated, so please be careful.
Indeed. And Christina, again, not going anywhere. News, weather, and traffic updates until we are in the all clear. I should ask again, if you have cute snow pictures or videos of your pups, you can upload them to the WSB Radio
and
app.
cats. I want to see the cats in snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark Aram is not impressed.
Bunnies, man.
You know, I didn't realize Low T had a big Great Dane.
I
They
know.
had him out of the snow this morning.
Isn't that unbelievable? Chuck posted a picture of his family enjoying, Montana roots. To him, this is, a spring snowstorm.
Yeah.
It's just a rainstorm for him, right?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you can upload those pictures and videos. I guess felines are accepted since Christina is the one pouring it over. But obviously, follow Christina on social media. Where can we make sure we're connecting with you?
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Christina Edwards, WSB. You'll find me.
All right, Chris.
WSB Radio!
And at WSB Radio, of course. Follow us on all that. And you got 9 days to follow us on TikTok because the Supreme Court's going to uphold that ban.
That hearing was brutal.
Yeah. Hey, just a reminder, it's the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. 2 p.m. keyword is fun, F-U-N, fun. You have until 2:30 p.m. to enter the keyword to win $1,000, F-U-N. Enter it at the WSB Radio app or WSBRadio.com/cash. Mark Aram and Eric Erickson back with you as we continue our team coverage of severe winter weather on 95.5 WSB.
220 Cool Ray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Got a new crash in northwest Atlanta. Guess what lane it's in? It is in the HOV lane, the untreated lane on the interstate, 75 north before Northside Drive, exit 252. Police and Hero are with that. They're going to try to get it off to the right. Just be mindful if you're coming out of Midtown up into northwest Atlanta. Also, DOT reporting another crash in Morrow, 75 northbound up around Highway 54, Jonesboro Road, exit 233. That crash is in 2 left lanes, but luckily no big delays associated with it. Again, please avoid all unnecessary travel and stay off of those roads. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
When the weather is at its worst,
I'm seeing anywhere from 1 to 4 inches of snowfall.
we're at our best.
Local warming stations have been activated as well, and we'll certainly continue to monitor and respond as needed throughout this weather event.
Tune in often for the latest.
We've got over 300 snowplows out, actively working now with 600 people engaged.
95.5 WSB, your severe weather station.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in, we'll work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
I'm not surprised that Ragsdale Heating, Air, Plumbing, and Electrical continues to grow and are looking for good, caring people to join their team. If you've got experience as a plumber, electrician, or you're an HVAC technician, give Ragsdale a call and become part of a great team. This is Scott Slate, and I used companies large and small until I went with Ragsdale years ago and saw firsthand how competent and caring a heating and air company could be. Many of their employees have been with them 10, 20, even 30 years. For a great opportunity to grow with a great company, go to ragsdaleair.com/careers and apply today.
Belinda here for Atlanta Vision Institute. I'm here to introduce you to a new procedure that Dr. Ashraf is performing called laser optics. This changed my life, folks. I was so tired of wearing contacts and glasses. The glasses were not around when I needed them. I had astigmatism, so the contacts didn't fit me well, and I had beginning stages of cataracts. So I went in. I was a great candidate for laser optics. It was a quick, painless procedure. The next day, it was like everything was in HD. The colors were more vibrant. The leaves were more vibrant. The sky was more vibrant. My husband was better looking. Everything was great. Laser optics with Dr. Ashraf, Atlanta Vision Institute. Go to the website 2020atlanta.com to find out more information. Also, take the quiz to see if this is a procedure that's good for you. Your medical insurance may cover it. That's 2020atlanta.com.
Just like your car, your septic system needs regular maintenance. Hi, I'm Shannon, the owner of Scorpion Septic. If you're seeing bubbles in your toilet, pooling in your yard, slow draining, or your toilet won't flush, you need Scorpion Septic.
Take the sting out of septic service with Scorpion Septic, where there is never a pump out charge with your repair. Call for more information. ScorpionSepticServices.com.
ScorpionSepticServices.com. All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB. Special winter weather coverage on your severe weather station. 95.5 WSB.
From your couch so that you are not creating a dangerous condition or a dangerous problem for our crews that are out there plowing or spreading.
Natalie Dale earlier from the DOT as we continue our team coverage of the severe weather that swept north of Erickson's house up through Metro Atlanta area, especially in Carrollton. That's a bummer. But your kids have seen snow before, right? I mean,
they have seen snow, and I will tell you. In fact, I'll ambush Christina with this. A buddy of mine who's a professional meteorologist up in D.C. texted me a little while ago to ask how things were, and I told him, he says, "Don't worry. Looks like in 2 weeks you'll get another chance at this."
Oh, really?
Like, oh, geez,
oh,
really?
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
You know, we still have PTSD from Snowmageddon and Snowpocalypse back in 2014.
Well, so it was, Christina mentioned the 2011 ice storm. That was the week I started here. That was the week we all had to stay, what is the Artmore at the time.
Yes.
Was actually there with Royal Marshal and Belinda, snowed in, sheet of ice on the road, had to walk to WSB from there because I couldn't get my car off the ice, and wound up having to sleep on the floor at WSB a couple of days.
Welcome to WSB,
yes.
to Eric Erickson for that ice storm. Now, listen, it hasn't been as bad as Snowmageddon or even 2011, but we're in the middle of it yet, right? This isn't over. It went from the beautiful snow to the sleet and freezing rain, and we're north of 32 degrees in Midtown here, but as Christina said, once the sun goes down, the temperatures will drop. And I tell you what, just looking at the cameras on the interstates here in the metro area, DOT's did an amazing job so far. So hopefully we won't see major freezing on the interstates, but it's the surface streets that are going to be the big concern going through the night.
Yeah, and I just, listen, I don't know who they are. I don't want to cast aspersions on why, but the people, like, I woke up this morning to, and God bless our company, by the way, for having the service, where I got a phone call this morning, automated, saying if you were headed into the station, be aware of stranded cars on the Buford Springs connector. And I'm like, who's trying to go to work this morning, abandoning their cars? Because, I mean, the governor, the mayor, everybody said don't be on the roads this morning.
Yeah, it was. So I came in. I planned it to get in before it got bad. But right in the middle, I took the Buford Spring connector. That's part of my daily route every morning. And it started sleeting, and it was hitting my windshield, the ice pellets. And everyone was well behaved. They were going below the speed limit, but it was quickly deteriorating. And I guess everyone in my wake just couldn't handle it, and they decided to just leave their callers on the Buford Spring Connector of all places.
Gosh. By the way, I'll tell you, I realize Christina's role here, but I got this radar update in the KFFC, which is Peachtree City. The KFC down there just updated, and it went from showing rain inside the perimeter to if you're west of 75, it's still rain. If you're east of 75, it's turned into that slushy mix all of a sudden as the radar updates.
I didn't want to hear that, Eric. I'm
sorry, man.
Trying my best to get home to the fam, but
it's light, so you should probably inside the perimeter. It's light. It's outside on the west side, the stuff that's blowing in. You'll be off, and if you need to skate out early and let me handle it, that's fine too. But yeah, on the west side, what's rolling in here is a really big slushy mix.
All right, we are not out of the woods yet, my friends. Christina is going to join you live in just a minute, folks, and update the full 5-day forecast, when the worst of it is, when we're going to be in the clear. Eric and I will rejoin you as we continue our team coverage of the winter weather event. We'll go in depth on what's going on the roads. We'll check with the big state agencies, Georgia Power, the world's busiest airport. We'll check the ground hold there. So much more to come. Social media, as Ken Charles reminded me to remind you, at WSB Radio. That's the one you need to be following throughout this winter weather coverage. So Mark Arum, Eric Erickson back with you live. News, weather, and traffic next on 95.5 WSB.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's news and talk.
At 2:30, I'm Bill Caiaccio with continuing live in-depth team coverage of Metro Atlanta's winter storm.
My main message is to just stay at home. Don't get out on the roads unless you absolutely have to.
Douglas County EMA Director James Queen echoing the advice of the Georgia DOT.
The best thing to do is to stay off the roads entirely, but the DOT's Natalie Dale says if you must get out there,
make sure that you are going well under the speed limit. Make sure that you have gas. Make sure your phone is charged. And make sure that you are giving adequate space for stopping.
Brining prep is over. They have shifted to plowing.
They're 12 hours on, and then the next shift comes on for 12 hours. And we'll continue sort of in that rotation until we're out at the woods.
And she says if you want to show your appreciation,
the best way to say thank you is to say thank you from your couch.
Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Meteorologist Christina Edwards is adding up the snowfall totals across the metro area.
Around 6 a.m., the snow began to fall throughout metro Atlanta, and it continued through about 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Between that time, as much as 4 inches of snow fell in Austell and Stone Mountain, 3.5 inches of snow for downtown Atlanta. Norcross picked up 3.5 inches of snow as well. McDonough, Chamblee, and Brookhaven, 3 inches of snowfall. Midtown Atlanta and Hateville received 2 inches of snow through this morning.
Christina has her latest forecast on when the precipitation comes to an end. That's coming up in just a matter of minutes. WSB's Jonathan O'Brien is monitoring conditions in the Northwest Metro this afternoon, and he joins us live now with the latest.
Speaking to officials in several North Metro counties, Bill, we're hearing much of the same thing. Stranded vehicles has been a challenge. Cherokee County's Erica Neldner tells me they've received 34 calls for stranded vehicles and 12 for car accidents since 6 a.m.
Our roadways throughout the county are still slick from the snow and sleet accumulations that have occurred. We have had some vehicles that have been abandoned on the side of the roads, and travel conditions remain treacherous.
Over in Paulding County, Sheriff Sergeant Jared Gunter says that tonight they are worried about what's going to happen on their slushy roads as the temperatures drop again.
That slush is going to end up becoming ice. And so what we're really concerned about is folks getting out later into the evening or kind of getting comfortable and getting out and then end up turning into ice. And then we're kind of back where we saw a lot of the calls this morning, which were folks getting stuck, sliding off the roads into the ditch.
Every county official I'm speaking to is repeating what we've heard from the governor on down. Stay home and off the roads. Reporting live in the Northwest Metro, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
Some drama at Hartsfield-Jackson Airport on a snowy runway.
A Delta plane was about to take off, and then it had an engine fire right there on the runway. Thankfully, the pilot and all those involved said, let's stop this plane. And they did not complete the takeoff.
Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens says passengers have to evacuate on emergency chutes. Dickens says a few people have bumps and bruises. More than 200 passengers, 2 pilots, and 5 flight attendants were on board the flight to Minneapolis. Hundreds of flights are canceled today because of the winter storm. From Midtown to Kennesaw, WSB's Jennifer Perry describes her commute.
Unfortunately, it's a day for spinouts. I happened to witness the aftermath of one today on I-75 inside the perimeter, where 2 gentlemen actually got out of the truck after hitting the median wall in the left-hand lanes. The problem with this is the truck was still in the lane of travel. I was very concerned that someone else could come along, hit the same slick spot, and perhaps injure them. In those cases, when you cannot move the vehicle over, it's always best to stay inside and wait for emergency responders to arrive.
It is now 2:33, and in-depth team coverage, live team coverage of traffic and weather is coming up next.
Mercedes?
Check.
BMW?
Check.
Audi, Volkswagen?
Check.
Bentley, Rolls-Royce, and Lambo?
Check, check, and check. At Rocco's European Garage, we take pride in providing full service for all luxury and European import vehicles. This is Rocco. Visit one of our 6 locations for top-notch customer service that includes upfront pricing, customer approval prior to us beginning work, and a 3-day appointment window to get you back on the road quicker. All without voiding your car's manufacturer warranty. Online at roccoseuropeangarage.com.
Hi, I'm David Nicholas, financial advisor and president of Nicholas Wealth Management. But most importantly, I'm a husband and a father. The 3 most important things in my life are faith, family, and freedom. Unfortunately, I think we're facing threats to all 3. The yahoos in Washington want to erode our wealth by inflation, regulation, and out-of-control spending. Deficits, rob Social Security, and inflation have devalued our dollar and made raising a family nearly impossible. And frankly, I'm sick and tired of it. The federal government is 40% bigger today than it was before COVID. I think that means taxes are going higher. Don't let higher taxes devastate your retirement accounts. At Nicholas Wealth, we have CPAs and CFPs that can show you how to shelter your retirement accounts from higher taxes. Our Retire Ready tax analysis is a $1,000 value, but we'll provide it completely complimentary for callers who have saved more than $250,000 for retirement and give us a call in the next 10 minutes. The number to call is 404-890-5606. That's 404-890-5606, or you can go to nicholaswealth.com.
Nicholas Wealth is an independent financial services firm that uses a variety of different investment strategies. This is prepared for informational purposes only. It does not address specific investment objectives or the financial situation and the needs of any person. This is a paid advertisement.
Thanks for calling Reliable Heating and Air. This is Steve. How can I help you?
Hi, I know it's late, but my furnace just died on us.
Don't worry at all. We have over 300 technicians throughout Metro Atlanta and Macon, so we can get to furnaces fast.
Oh, thank goodness.
Oh, yeah, and it looks like you have a reliable protection plan.
Yeah.
Perfect. This service call is no charge, and so's the repair.
Thank you so much.
Get fast and fair price furnace repair. Go to reliableair.com.
Reliable air is always just right.
It is now 2:36 and time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. And in the 24-hour traffic center, it's Alex Williams.
Hey, Bill. While watching the interstates right now, they seem to be almost kind of looks like a rainy, snowy mess out there, but do not let your guard down. I've been watching several crashes. Most of them seem to be occurring in the left lanes where they're not really treating the HOV, the far left lane, so stay in those middle lanes if you can. Also, callers tell me drivers driving way too fast for conditions out there, so please keep the speeds down if you have to travel. Avoid it if you can. Just had a crash clear northwest Atlanta out of, the HOV lane, the far left lane, 75 north before Northside Drive. In Morrow, we've been dealing with a crash clearing out of the left lane, 75 northbound, Highway 54, Jonesboro Road, exit 233. And icy conditions on Armour Drive in northeast Atlanta under I-85, so until that gets treated, avoid that as lanes will be blocked there. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm 95.5 WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. We do have precipitation moving through all of North Georgia and Metro Atlanta. Be aware that this may be falling as freezing rain or sleet. Even with temperatures around 32 to 34, this is falling on top of frozen surfaces. So I am concerned that we are going to start to see ice accumulations for the rest of this afternoon and into this evening, up to half an inch of ice possible in Gainesville, Lawrenceville, and extending over towards Monroe. This precip comes to an end before midnight, low tonight 32. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 36. And on Sunday, morning lows in the upper teens to low 20s, daytime highs in the upper 30s. Live in the Storm Center, meteorologist Christina Upwards.
And right now, 32 in Powder Springs, 32 in Conyers, it's 31 in Buford. Continuing team coverage of Metro Atlanta's winter storm continues in just a few minutes right here on 95.5 WSB.
Winter Weather 2025 on 95.5 WSB.
2:38 in a very gray and chilly Midtown Atlanta. Welcome back, folks. Mark Arum and Eric Erickson with you till 3. Then Eric Erickson, he thinks from 3 to 7 p.m. We'll see how that holds up. Depends what Mother Nature has to say. Continuous updates, needless to say, throughout the day, the night, the overnight, tomorrow, throughout the weekend here on 95.5 WSB. This station's 103 years old, Eric. We've been down this road before.
Oh, yeah, we all have. I do have to tell you, out of my office window down here in Middle Georgia right now, I'm starting to see snowflakes. I just sent everybody in my office home because it is like, it's that wonderful salmon color on the radar, the ice slush mix. And so I told everybody else, get here. By the time I leave tonight, it'll be back to rain down here. But, yeah, what a mess. And again, you know, I started in 2011. Actually, I started on January 11th, 2011, when that ice storm hit and had to sleep on the floors at WSB for several days. And then the 2014 thing's I think I started at 4 p.m. and didn't get off till 6 a.m. the next day.
Yeah,
so this is nothing.
That was something else. So obviously we've been updating the roads. We've also been updating the commute home from some of our WSB colleagues. Judd Higginbotham left the station on foot and walked to his in-laws' house in Morningside. Cheryl Castro from Hawaii, I didn't think she'd make it, but she made it from WSB all the way out to Kennesaw. And our young, intrepid reporter, Austin Eller, was here covering the snow in Midtown. He has made it safely home to Norcross. He joins us live here on WSB Radio. Austin, was it a white-knuckle commute home? How did it fare for you?
You know, it really wasn't too bad, Mark. I think right now, you know, if you for some reason have to be anywhere on the roads, it's really not too bad right now, at least if you're heading from the metro to northeast of the metro into Gwinnett County or otherwise. Of course, I took 85 up this way, and frankly, it was pretty simple. There really wasn't a whole lot going on. Certainly not too many cars on the road, but I think as you've heard throughout the day with traffic and triple team traffic there, just make sure, you know, you're watching the lanes you're in. There are certainly still lanes on 85 and otherwise that have not been cleared. And so, and those lanes can change at any time. Like there was one point I was driving in the second from the right lane, and suddenly that lane became very snowy again, and I had to shift over one to the left. So just really make sure you're watching your speed, make sure you're watching ahead of what's coming. And yeah, I mean, really wasn't too bad. I will tell you the side roads, as far as getting to my house, some of the side roads, at least here in Norcross, are a little more dangerous than like your 85 or your Jimmy Carter Boulevard or anything of that sort. Certainly still pretty slushy, pretty snowy. So
that was my next question, Austin. And don't give us your address. Don't give us MapQuest directions to the Eller home. But what were some of the roads that seemed worse for the wear as you got off the interstate?
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy Carter wasn't too bad, but, you know, going north on Jimmy Carter up toward Peachtree Corners area, certainly the further you get, like past Buford Highway, that area does start to become a little slushy. Again, a lot of the roadways right now are just saturated with water. There's really not a whole lot of actual winter precipitation on them. But, you know, moving north a little bit away from 85, it was certainly starting to get a little more slushy. So, and what was interesting to me too, Mark, I didn't see any abandoned vehicles or any spinouts or anything like that, like we had heard earlier in the day from Cheryl and otherwise. But I did see, you know, one thing I didn't think about is coming up this way, a lot of the trees, like falling limbs and things like that from the weight of the snow. I noticed there were many trees that had lost a lot of their limbs, and I'm sure that will continue to be an issue, certainly as the ice becomes a problem later this afternoon and into the evening.
That is definitely something we're monitoring. Austin Eller was on Atlanta's Morning News, braved the elements, leaving the station, heading home to Norcross. Your typical commute home compared to what it took you today, how much longer did it take you to get home?
Yeah, so I was definitely, you know, obviously using caution. And again, if you're out, definitely use caution. Don't go the speed limit. You probably need to be going quite a bit under that just to be safe. But, you know, normally it takes me about 20 minutes. I'd say it took me in the range of 30 to 35 today. So, you know, not terrible, but certainly a little slower than normal.
All right. Austin Eller thinks he's going to enjoy a 3-day weekend. We'll see what Amanda Moyer has to say about that.
That's right.
Austin, you were fantastic all morning long on Atlanta's Morning News, and I'm glad you made it home safely. So hopefully you'll get that 3-day weekend you were promised.
Thank you, Mark. I'm trying.
There you go. Austin Eller. He got home. Not bad, Eric. I mean, you know, you take it easy.
Not bad at all. By the way, I got to say, as far as the roads too, I pulled up the Georgia Power outage map, and they're doing a great job, even with the trees starting to fall and stuff, keeping the power on. Less than 1,000 people affected in the Metro Atlanta area right now, which is scattered outages, and a lot of those are just limbs falling on power lines in the suburban areas around the metro area.
Yeah, that's what I'm holding my breath for. So we heard from spokesman from the Georgia Power, because listen, this if you're home right now drinking hot chocolate in front of the fireplace, streaming WSB radio on your laptop, everything, it's a great snow day. But if your power goes out, things change quickly and for the worse, right? It's not where you want to be. I'm holding my breath that we'll not see major power outages once the ice starts forming on the trees and the limbs. So you said under 1,000 Georgia Power customers. What's the EMC website saying, Deborah?
Well, before I said it was over 1,000 for EMC, but they've been working out there because now Metro is reporting 87.
Wow!
So they've been
That's
busy.
great.
Yeah,
And it's all hands on deck. The DOT,
Some of the hardest working people.
Yeah, the linemen are out there. Take us behind the scenes, Eric. Politically, right? We had that press conference today. We carried it live on WSB. We had Governor Kemp. We had Russell McMurray, the commissioner of the DOT. State Patrol, Georgia, the GEMA folks were there. What goes behind the scenes when folks in Metro Atlanta, North Georgia, are bracing for an event like this and then dealing with the event?
It's funny you ask, because I did have this conversation about 2 weeks ago. When they first started saying we may get something, some of the speculation, some of the models were really wild, the levels of snow and ice they were predicting. And one of the things they have to do constantly is audit the salt. Because we do have salt positioned around the state to be able to cover the roads. Got to check with DOT, but part of it that you're dealing with, I don't want to give names. It wasn't the governor, so it's not somebody at that level. But one of the emergency management officials says one of the problems is you're not just dealing with the state, you're also dealing with sometimes not particularly competent local governments that have to be involved in getting everybody on the same team. But ever since 2014 happened, there's been this appreciation, I think, down to the local level that everybody's going to be firing on all cylinders when one of these things comes through, because every time there's a false alarm, people then start to lower their guard for the next one. And so there's been a lot of work over the last 2 weeks to educate all the local officials on the models so they would know. So, for example, I actually got a complaint from a statewide official about a county near me that'll go nameless that wasn't sure they wanted to let their kids out of school today, and then decided that if they did, they would do remote learning, and finally had to take a call from a state official to the local government saying, you're going to have limbs on trees taking out power lines. You need to just dismiss school instead of having. And sure enough, there actually are some power outages in that county today. So, but getting the state government officials to reach out to local government officials and remind them that these are big deals is something that a lot of work goes into that over a couple weeks before, because everybody now with social media, and I imagine it's got to frustrate Christina that you now have these professional private sector meteorologists who get clicks by putting out the most absurd models that never come to pass. And so then people say, it's really no big deal, when actually it is a big deal. It's just not the absurdity that they were claiming.
Indeed. You mentioned 2014, and Governor Kemp at the press conference today praised Governor Deal and basically changing the whole paradigm of what we do here in Georgia when it comes to severe weather to prevent something like 2014 ever happening again.
Well, and that gets something Christina was talking about earlier, that normally the way it happens is the morning comes in and it's rain, in the afternoon it's snow, and in this one it's snow in the morning, rain in the afternoon. In 2014, it started at 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and people were stuck. By the time everyone realized it was going to be a big deal, and people tried to leave, it put a bunch of people in Atlanta on the road at the same time. And ever since, Governor Deal and now Governor Kemp is like, if there's a threat of this, just work remotely. The upside of COVID for all sorts of problems with remote work and stuff is we kind of got in a habit of, when a crisis happens, now we all know how to work from home, and companies are more comfortable with it.
Indeed. And the folks, the school systems that did remote learning today, we found out anecdotally from folks whose kids were there was no in-class school, but they were remote. the kids did not. They were out making snowmen.
yeah.
They bailed on that. So I was feeling bad for the kids that had to do the remote learning, but it looks like they just decided to take things into their own hands. What you go back to 2014, and I remember as soon as I did the morning traffic and warning everyone what was coming, and then I went home and they called me back in, and I remember getting on WSB radio and TV and saying, if this was like 1 or 2 in the afternoon, if you're at your place of business right now, whether you're in downtown or midtown, Buckhead, Dunwoody, don't leave work. Stay there. You're in a building. You've got facilities. You've got maybe some food. Because I saw what was coming down the pike. If you left your place of employment and tried to make it home, you weren't going to make it. But unfortunately, I understand. And some people had to get home for their kids or the elderly, but they got out on the road and then they were stuck for 24 hours.
Thank God nothing like that is happening right now. I mean, we've gotten better about highlighting the awareness. And I honest to God, I really do think that 2014 stuck in the psyche so much. Because if you actually go back to 2011, the 2011 ice storm was worse because it lasted longer, but people weren't stuck in their cars because it happened at like 10, 11 o'clock at night on a Sunday when it started. And the 2014 one, because it came in the afternoon, it just stuck in people's psyche, but it didn't last nearly as long as what happened in 2011. I remember I was stuck at WSB that the first week I started, 2011, did not get to go home until Saturday, and was driving past the airport, and there were still cars up on embankments that had slid off. It was kind of wild that that happened. And by 2014, of course, people were like, "Oh, we survived 2011, we'll survive this one," and rolls in at 2 p.m. and you're stuck.
Yeah, and I think I'll ask Christina this, but meteorologically, I think the ice storm we had in the Super Bowl, I think it was at 99, was also worse than 2014. But again, it happened over the weekend, and we didn't see the mass catastrophe on the interstates. All right, I'll be back with Eric for one more segment as we continue our severe weather coverage here on 95.5 WSB. The weather is important, the news is important, but of course, the traffic, also very important. Let's go back live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center and Alex Williams.
Hey, Mark. Yes, very important on a day like today. I can tell you people seem to be heeding our warning and not tons of cars out on the metro interstates, and that is what we wanted to stay that way because we still have icy and some treacherous driving conditions. Crash working in Morrow should be off to the side now. 75 northbound between Mount Zion and Jonesboro Road. Up in Ackworth, tractor trailer earlier this morning lost some large equipment it was carrying, and they're still working in 2 right lanes. 75 northbound before Highway 92, exit 277. We've also had icy conditions reported on the 285, 85 interchange, those big overpasses in Spaghetti Junction. They are passable, but you got to do it with caution, and plenty of calls into the traffic center saying people driving with their flashers on. No need to do that. That is for emergency situations only, so if you are driving down the interstates or the highways, please turn off your flashers. This report brought to you by Georgia Access. Georgia Access is your home for quality and affordable coverage. Enrollment is happening now. Visit georgiaaccess.gov today. Georgia Access, health insurance the Georgia way. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
online,
on the app,
where you get your news,
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
Thank you, Jesus.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 5.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz
on 95.5 WSB.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-935-6077. 800-935-6077. 800-935-6077.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com. Are the effects of diabetes, prostate cancer, hypertension, or high cholesterol robbing you of your ability to perform in the bedroom? Choice Men's Health can help you eliminate ED and get your bedroom performance back in just one visit. Choice Men's Health offers breakthrough treatments for ED and performance issues in the bedroom to help you regain your confidence and give you back the intimacy with your partner. Call Choice Men's Health right now to make an appointment and find out how you can eliminate ED on the first visit. Popular name brand pills like Viagra and Cialis don't work for everyone and can have serious side effects. Choice Men's Health custom medications work immediately, even if you have a medical history or think you're too old to perform like you used to. Choice Men's Health can help you have a fulfilling sex life again. Call Choice Men's Health today at 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170. Once again, that's 404-400-1170.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Your non-stop news source, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Winter Weather 2025 on 95.5 WSB.
That slush is going to end up becoming ice. And so what we're really concerned about is folks getting out later into the evening or kind of getting comfortable and getting out and then end up turning into ice. And then we're kind of back where we saw a lot of the calls this morning. Where
Sergeant Jared Gunter from Paulding County, the slush could turn to ice. That is the big fear right now. Mark Aram and Eric Erickson continuing our winter weather coverage. Eric, we had Natalie Dale on. Gosh, she's been on so much the last couple of days. But she mentioned to me that they did the brine. They had so much brine to pre-treat the roads. And she said now they're starting to mix in some calcium chloride to help deal with the ice and snow. Apparently, calcium chloride, a white crystalline odorless salt compound with the chemical formula CaC12 or Ca12 that has many uses. I don't know. Are you familiar with calcium chloride?
I am vaguely familiar with calcium chloride. You can buy it at Home Depot, for example, and it generates heat that penetrates through ice. So when it comes into contact with water, it gets warm.
Speaking of Home Depot, I saw something on social media today talking about the winter weather, and someone posted that men or women over the age of 40 should be allowed to have birthday parties at Home Depot. Like kids will have parties at McDonald's or a bowling alley. How about adult birthday parties at Home Depot?
Absolutely. I think you should bring out the miter saws and build stuff. I mean, it would be useful. Wives would allow husbands to go. And I mean, birthday party sponsored by Home Depot and Miller Lite. That would be fantastic. You can keep the saws away, though. But
So, Eric, I'm going to hand the reins over to you starting at 3. Give us a preview of what we're going to be doing as we continue our severe weather coverage.
Continuing to talk to traffic, checking the power outages, talking with Christina Edwards on weather as we move forward, because, I mean, I'm watching the radar colors change right now myself. So I know Christina is. We're moving away from rain in the metro area back into this slushy mix, the salmon color on my radar, which is it's snow, it's ice, it's sleet, it's rain, it's a mess, and the temperatures are starting to drop.
It's not a good color. If you can, I'm looking at the FAA's website right now. It says Petrie DeKalb Airport is closed. I'm trying to see the latest on the ground stoppage at Hartsfield. It is just saying an average of 239-minute delays on flights. So I think the ground stop has ended there.
Yeah, the ground stop did end at
Okay.
noon there. They're de-icing planes as they take off there still, which is slowing everything down.
Gotcha. So Eric's going to take over. Christina's here. The traffic center, bless them, 24/7. Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center. Once that slush turns to ice, they'll keep you updated. And we have the resources here at WSB Radio. The news team headed by Bill Caiaccio going to keep you up to date. We're going to keep you safe. So please stay with us. If you have a chance before you lose power, God forbid, download the WSB Radio app so you can stay connected with us even if your power goes out. All right, Eric, I'm going to try to get home. Get
home, be safe.
If I'm unsuccessful, I might be joining you in the 4 o'clock hour.
All right.
Just to help you out. But thanks for jumping on early, and thanks for giving us that last hour of your network program to continue the coverage here, buddy.
Thank you for hanging out with me.
And don't forget, if you have amazing video, pictures of the winter weather, you can upload them to the WSB Radio app. Just another reason to download that app right now.